Guys, I'm so close to 50 subscribers. Please help me get there. Guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to build an Iron Golem farm. Please be aware that this is a Bedrock farm, not Java edition. And the first thing you want to do is first go about 15 blocks up. Once you've reached this height, go one up higher with a cobblestone block and start building outwards by 8 blocks. Now build 8 on the other side. Now build 8 out this way. Basically, your structure should look like that. Now you want to fill this in. Now that you've filled those in, you want to go out 1 and go 3 up. And just build a wall going all around this platform. Now that you've made the walls, you want to make the kill chamber now. So all you do, you fill all this in with water, so it flows all the way to here. Then you want signs going all along here. Now that they're all along there, you want to also put it on the second block over here. Now you want to fill in these spots with lava. And the reason you want it 3 high is because otherwise the iron drops from the iron golems will burn. Okay, now that the lava is down, you want to place down all your hoppers. I'm going to go all the way until the glass tower. And on the glass tower, you face it down with the hopper, and you face all these hoppers towards that downwards facing hopper. Okay, now get out of the kill chamber. Over here, one place a double chest, and now just create your storage system. Okay, now that your storage system is complete, you can go on to the next part. The next part is basically just building out 7 blocks from the kill chamber. And just doing that all the way around, except for on this side where the lava is. Now that you have your spawning platform complete, you now want to build up 3 blocks high with blocks that mobs cannot spawn on. So you can use glass or leaves. By the way, the wall that you are putting up needs to be 1 block outside the spawning platform, and I'll explain why later. Now that this is done, you can now put in your water, and if you've done it correctly, the water should flow until it's here. That's why the wall had to be outside 1, because as water flows, it flows exactly 8 blocks in any direction. That's why we're able to do this. I realized my mistake too late. So basically you have to go out 5, then go out 4, then just make a diagonal pattern like that, so that the water flows. And this basically stops it from making an infinite water source. My mistake there. And you want to do this in the back 2 corners. Oops. And now that it's done correctly, it should all perfectly fit, so that when the iron golems spawn here, go down here, go here, and then they burn because they're 3 blocks tall. Iron goes into the hoppers and into your storage system. Now that the killing platform has been made, you need to make the ground spawn proofed. Basically, the way you do that is you go from the edge of your farm, which is over here, go 8 blocks out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you do that in every single corner from the edge of your spawning platform. 1, 2, 3. And now you want to fill all of this in. And this is basically to stop the iron golems from spawning down here. It forces them to spawn up there. Later on in the farm you may have to expand it depending on where you've built your villager cage, but if you do it correctly, the spawn proof platform will be perfectly placed. Okay, now that that is done, you want to now build your house for the villagers. So you only need 20 villagers to make this farm, but if you want to make it more efficient, you want to use 40. More than that will slow down the farm, less than that will also slow down the farm. Due to the way how villagers work in Bedrock Edition, you need 20 villagers to make this farm work, and basically, because there's 20 villagers, Minecraft Bedrock Edition thinks there is a whole village, so it spawns in an iron golem, and only 1 per village. And that's why if there's 40 villagers, it thinks there's 2 villages, and spawns 2 iron golems roughly every minute. Now to build the house, or the housing. The first thing you want to do is you want to make every second block where their bed is. And you want about 10 villagers per level, and they need to be facing 5 on each side. So there's 5 beds, go 2 blocks out, and then 2 more blocks for the bed, and like that. You just repeat this for every single side of the beds, and your platform should look like this. Now you may want to remove the beds because the way that villagers work, they may not connect to the right bed. Right, now that you know how wide it must be, go out 1 extra block and start building up. And because of how villagers work, when they wake up, they'll be standing like this, and you don't want them to suffocate. So you build 4 blocks up, and then you build the roof part. It should look something like that. Now that you built that, you repeat it on all the others. And while you add it, you also want to fill up these gaps. And you also want to fill up the roof gaps once you are done building those rings. Now that that is done, you want to go to the middle 2 blocks of this. Then every second row, you want to build 2 by 2 going up with any light block. So glowstone, sea lanterns, activated redstone lamps, anything like that. You want to do it on every single second line. Just like that. So it should look like that. Now that that is done, You just fill in these gaps here around the lanterns. You also want to fill in these gaps here. Now that you've filled in all the areas, you also want to build a wall on both sides like this. Please do bear in mind that later on I will customize this farm. You can also customize it however you want. Just bear in mind that when you customize it, make sure that all the spawning blocks are covered by glass when customizing, because otherwise your golems might spawn up here or down there. Okay, now that you've built those two walls, you also want to go in here and do not cover the middle floor, but you want to cover the middle roof part. So basically there, and then up there as well, because you want to be able to put your job site blocks for the villagers. For this farm to work, a villager has to be connected to a bed, and they also have to be connected to a job site block. If you have baby villagers, you have to wait for them to grow up, and if you have nitwits, get rid of them. Okay, now that that is done, you can start with the villagers. When doing this in survival, you'll probably have to have a lot of villagers from a villager breeder, and also you'll also have to have a lot of rails or boats, because otherwise villagers are difficult to work with. So basically what I've done here is I've put the beds where it's available, and then a job site block at their feet. And once they've connected to that, you can do the next one. Basically they connect to the bed and then connect to their fledgling table. You can use any job site block for this, but I use the fledgling table because it's got the best trades. And also in survival mode, this farm will be difficult to make as it is elevated, so you may want to use bubble columns to get them up here. Or you can also build this housing system below the spawning platforms. It all depends on what you want. As you can see, a nitwit has spawned, and well, they do nothing in a village. So, you know what to do. So, once you are done with the first level, you just repeat that onto a second level. Now over here you can see there's been cats spawning, and a simple way to stop the cats from spawning is just to tame 4 of them, because that will stop the spawning of cats. So you may be asking why you want to stop the spawning of cats, and that's just because the cats sometimes mess with the spawn rate of the iron golems. This build does use a lot of glass, but a simple alternative is just to use leaves, because leaves also stop the spawning of mobs. And here's a perfect example of the baby villager. So basically you either wait until he grows older, or you swap him out for a adult. Now that you have all your villagers in, you should have 20 in total on this housing system, each of them connected to a bed, and each of them connected to their workstation. And this should, in theory, start spawning iron golems. One other thing is that this farm will not work in peaceful mode. It has to be in easy, normal, or hard difficulty for this farm to work. Oh, and there we have it, guys. A iron golem spawned. As you can see, he's gonna get damaged by the lava. Just ease him in there. And then once he's dead, the iron will go into the hopper, then into this chest. Once it gets there. And there it is. This is a great iron farm and also a great poppy farm. And also don't ask where that string came from. Now that you have built the one layer or one system, you also want to build the second system. And the second system is preferably built underneath. Right about here. And you just copy this one here. It's the exact same thing. If your iron golem farm isn't working, you may have to relink your villagers to their beds or their job site blocks. One way to tell if they haven't been connected to their beds properly is if it's nighttime and they don't go to bed. Now once you're done with all the platforms and the housing systems, you want to just go check through everyone, make sure they are their correct job. If they do not have a job, that means they've disconnected from their job site block. Okay, everyone's been checked. Now what you also want to do is just check that they are in the correct bed. And as you can see, everyone is in the correct allocated beds. You see the cats don't really die to the lava, so it is a tiny bit of a problem. And as you can see, the iron golems spawn in at daytime, at nighttime, it doesn't matter. They spawn in, they die, which allows others to spawn in, and then you get this. And guys, this is only in the short 10 minutes of what I've been building the second layer and doing some modifications on the top layer because they weren't connected properly. In total, this farm gets you about 500 drops an hour, and you can customize it however you want, or just leave it like this. So guys, before I show you the final product of the iron golem farm, I just want to ask you to please subscribe and leave a like down below. And now to show you the final product. There you guys have it. The final product of the iron golem farm. I have basically used the iron from the iron golems and then some red wool because, well, there can always be a few casualties with the cats, which drop string, and, well, the iron golems drop poppies, which give you red dye. Guys, this is what has been happening while I've been customizing the farm. Almost 4 stacks of iron, and there we go, 4 stacks. This is an insane farm, especially for a beginning farm. You can always make bigger ones and better ones, but this is a great starter. But so yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. That is how you build a simple iron golem farm and also the mechanics of villages. Please subscribe, it will really help out. And also please leave a like so that it will be recommended to others. And also show your friends how to build now.